Yes. Paul Cram is a freelance creative guru. Before we bring him up, I just want, for a second, Paul, I do want to thank you for your guidance, for your support, taking over all of our media, doing what you've done for the last 5 years. The experience we've all had over the last 5 years and the improvements we've seen have been incredible. Paul Cram, everyone. Okay, Paul Cram in a second, because I have this wonderful gift. For Paul, for doing an amazing job for 5 years and putting us on the map. I mean, you guys, they look at you and we find TCWP. It's amazing. It's all you. This is for you. Thank you, sir, for being awesome.
Oh, I appreciate that, Matt. Thank you. Matt's being so nice to me. I got here a little earlier and Matt was carrying a comb and I was like, hey, can I borrow that real quick? And he's like, no, I never part with it. Kidding aside, you just got it. No, I just wanted to touch on 4 things really quick. I really appreciate this recognition. Thank you, Matt, Michelle, Elizabeth, everybody at TCWP. It's been an honor to work with you for the past 5 years. I wanted to touch on a few things. First, I want to just give you a little recap of who I am, what I do. Second, some of what we've done over the past 5 years. And then I want to ask a question of you, the audience, and then I'm going to ask us to do a little math. So first, my background. Some of you know this, some of you don't. I come from a creative background. I, for the past 20 years, have been traveling the nation doing acting. I do a lot of performing. I also have worked for the past 17 years doing marketing with the late renowned dermatologist, Dr. Charles Crutchfield III, who specialized in treating skin of color. And melding these two things together from my background, from performing as an actor, and then also just websites, marketing, multimedia, it's been something that I've really been pleased to work with TCWP on. So that second thing that I wanted to kind of recap, some of the things that we've worked on over these past 5 years, one big one that a lot of the people in the room here that have been nominated is that we've worked on making it so that search engines love you. And you'll find this out. Pretty much anybody in the past 5 years, if you Google them, if they've been nominated for an award, these wonderful things come up, and we're letting the world know how amazing you are. So that was one thing that we've really focused on the last 5 years. In addition to that, COVID happened, and we couldn't go to venues, so we did these venue tours. And Elizabeth, Michelle, and Matt were so game when I presented this idea to them. I'm like, let's have you run around venues and we'll video it. And they were great. You can find them online if you look online. And let me see, that venue tours, and also we worked on a podcast together over the last 5 years. Did over 50 episodes of Wedding and Event Insider. So all of that has happened in the last 5 years, and it's been a really good ride. So I appreciate all of you, and I appreciate the creativity that you all have brought along with some of my ideas and harebrained schemes. So, question for everybody in the room. Where were you 15 years ago? Yes, where were you 15 years ago? And I mean that in a way, too, if you're a parent, what were your kids doing 15 years ago? If you are married now, were you single 15 years ago? And I'm asking this question because if you think about it, over the past 15 years, has there been something that you have done in your life every single month? Has there been any type of a ritual that you've done? Has there been any type of something that you have done consistently over the past 15 years every single month that has brought you to where you are today? So I want to ask you to do a little bit of math with me. Keep up with me. I am not a mathematician. But if we do the math, TCWP meets once a month on the second Wednesday of each month. They meet for 2 hours. There's 12 months in a year. So every year, TCWP brings people together in venue spaces for 24 hours of networking over the course of the year. What I think is kind of cool is that it's a 15-year anniversary. And that means if we started networking today, we wouldn't stop networking until April 25th, and we would not stop. It would be constant. That's not sleeping, that's not eating, that's, you know. And when I start to think about that with TCWP, I start to be a little bit in awe of the dedication that Matt and Michelle and Elizabeth have brought over the past 15 years, because like I said, if you think back 15 years ago, are you still doing the things that you were doing 15 years ago? It's very rare that anybody is. And I know that putting these events together takes a lot of behind-the-scenes work. I've seen it with my sister, by the way. Michelle is my sister. I've seen her do a lot of things, really addressing and helping, I think, shape the tone for TCWP. There's a reason that the group, when you guys meet, it's always very, very warm and welcoming, and it's not competitive. And I know that my sister Michelle has a hand in that. Elizabeth is this rock star of logistics. Do not believe her as she shakes her head over there. Over the last 15 years, it is amazing what the things that she has done. And also, I just want to acknowledge your ever entertaining host, MC Matthew Sherry, who I think is very willing. Yes, go ahead, applaud. Without Matt and Michelle and Elizabeth, this group would not be what it is. And there's something very special here, and I see it. And I have been really honored and pleased to have spent the last 5 years working with that, because something that I have seen as a marketer is there's a lot of heart. And that's not always the case in some of the projects I'm working on. I can tell you a lot about Botox. There's not... So, thank you so much for this. I'm going to wrap this up and hand this back over to you, Matt. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Paul. Appreciate you, man. Thanks, buddy.